We'll do some questions for Tuesday under embargo at the end as well. So we'll just cover off today's game and then move on to Tuesday at the end. Anybody want to kick us off?
It was a really thrilling game to watch. Obviously, a bit different to last season where you came back with 2 goals. This time Spurs did. What did you make of the match overall?
Overall, I think was an unlucky draw for us. So we started strongly in the first phase of the game. We created chances. We scored 2 goals, and then we get a little bit passive. We concede the first goal in an unlucky moment out of an unlucky situation, and then in the second half we defended a lot. We had to defend, but we were still very, very dangerous after transition moments. I think we could finish the game with one transition action we had. But we weren't able to do this. Then in some moments we had to suffer after we conceded the second goal. I think we showed a great reaction. We had a lot of energy on the pitch. We were trying to go for the win. We created chances. So overall, of course, it doesn't feel great, but I saw a lot of positives, good small steps in the right direction. Then we have to keep on pushing.
Baleba came on at half-time. Was he injured?
No.
What was the reason?
He just felt tired.
What did you make of his performance? He seemed to start strongly and fade a little bit.
I think that everyone has to understand with Carlos that he's a very young player and he had like an unbelievable development in the last season. And everyone expects for him that it keep pushing, keep going the same like it was last year. But he's a 20-year-old player. He needs like time. There are some waves in the development. There's not always like that the development goes like this, like linear, like up. There are some downs, and at the moment he seems to be in a small down. But I think it's very important to understand that he's not a machine. He's a very young, talented player. He needs help. He needs support from us. He needs the right environment where he can grow, where he can open himself. And he tried everything today. He pushed. He only had like 45 minutes in his body, and that's something we have to accept. That's something where we can't feel like, why is he only playing 45 minutes? So I think it's very important to understand that he's a young kid. He needs like support from us, and he will go back and get back to his shape where he was. But we need to be very patient with him. We need to give him the trust, the support he needs, and then I'm sure that he will get back to shape and be a very important player for us this season.
So just to confirm, were you thinking of taking him off before he said it, or did you take him off because he said he was tired?
No, I think we observed the game and we saw in some moments he struggled, so he didn't track back and couldn't defend the box anymore like he did it in the first 25 minutes. But we had an ongoing discussion, so we knew that Carlos is not like in his best shape. But like I said, you need to give the boy like the game time he needs to develop to get back to his shape, and that's something where we are responsible for. We need to take care of his health, and we are all sticking together and trying to help him.
Was the whole Manchester United episode had an impact on it?
It's a lot of theory, and we can only guess. For sure, when a young boy reads that there's interest from Manchester United with a big offer, it might affect him deep, even not if he's saying like, it affects me, but maybe deep inside of him, there is something what affects him. So that's also part of the development, like to understand that when you play well, there comes a big offer, there comes a big club who wants to have him. But then to keep pushing, to be like humble, stay here in Brighton and try to make the next step together with the team. And that's something where we have to keep on working with him. And therefore I can't give you a clear answer if it's really affected him or not. But for sure, I said it before, he's a young boy, and we need to understand that he's not a machine that if you click on, then he always runs, and off, then he stops. So we need to understand his feelings, his emotions. We need to understand like where he comes from, and that's our responsibility.
How has it been for you managing that situation?
That's my job, and that's our job, and therefore we're doing great at Brighton because we want to develop young players, and you need to accept in some moments that players like are not always on the highest level, especially young players with big potential. You need to give them the chance to develop. You need to give them also like the environment where they can have these phases, because like I said, it's normal with a young profile player that these phases are there. So I like to be in that position where we build this environment, where we even come closer, where we stick together, and where we all try to help him. That's what the club is doing. That's what his teammates are doing. And just leave the kid on his own. He will come back for sure. Sooner or later, he will be back, the old Carlos Baleba, and then he will get the rewards he deserves for all his hard work he's doing.
Darren?
Just on the flip side to that, Yankuba Minteh, he's progressing very well, isn't he, this season? He's probably been one of your most important players. What did you make of his performance and the way he took his goal?
Yeah, Ferdi had really good actions. He had actions where you could create even more chances. But overall, like you said, we are happy with him, with his development. He scores goals. He's always a threat for the opponent. So we have to keep pushing on working with him.
Can I just ask what you think the differences are between this Spurs side under Thomas Frank and the one that you faced last year under Postecoglou?
I think that's not my job to judge the work from other coaches. What I could see today, there were two teams on the pitch with a lot of energy, with a lot of intensity, with a squad where they could sub like really, really good players. So I think it's also part of the truth that they just have a lot of individual quality on the bench. So when you look at the bench, that's just unbelievable which options they have, and I think that's maybe the biggest difference.
Minteh seemed disappointed to come off Fabian.
Every player, I think, is disappointed because everyone wants to play, but we have to make decisions. We need to take care. We need to understand that in some moments he didn't track back anymore. He didn't defend it like he should defend, but it's because he was sprinting a lot, fighting a lot, creating a lot of chances. So when you play like this 75 minutes, then I'm happy, and then we try to bring some new players in for a little bit of freshness.
And you strengthened at the back during that substitution. Was that a direct response to Simon's coming on and
Yeah, I think in some moments we had some gaps, and therefore we wanted to make the change. I think overall it worked quite well. Of course, when you don't win, you can't say that it worked perfectly, but you have to make decisions, and therefore we will analyze it, and then we have to be, and like we are, always honest to each other, and then we see how we go on.
Andy?
Just on that, you ended up with 3 central defenders. You've got quite a few central defenders now, having signed 2 in the summer. Is that a way you might go in some matches from the start this season, or do you see yourself sticking?
It's for sure a possibility, and I think when we looked at the game, in the end, of course, we conceded the goal, but it was a very unlucky goal. I didn't see that Tottenham created a lot afterwards when we had the 3 centre-backs on the pitch. So therefore, they did it really good. When Diego went in, we even created really good chances afterwards. We were attacking the box quite good. So, like I said, overall, I'm pleased with the guys. I'm pleased with the reaction they showed on the setbacks they had. It's not easy when you're 2-0 in front, then it's a 2-2. But in the end, there was, in my opinion, only one team who really went for the 3rd goal. That was us. We were there. We had a lot of energy. We created chances. We looked dangerous. So we tried everything, but sometimes football you don't get the reward. So we have to keep pushing.
And just one on Ferdi, he's had 2 pretty tough tests on his comeback from injury at Bournemouth last week.
I think
He generally did well, and perhaps just tired a bit because of...
I think he did well. He played well, he defended well. So, like I said, a lot of positives today, and he was one of this positive.
Carlos, is it possible you could give him a bit of a break now, or do you think he needs more games to get back into the rhythm?
Let's see how we react on this, but I think the second option is it. So give him the trust, give him the belief, give him the confidence that he will get back to the shape. And what is better for a football player than being on the pitch and playing? And again, he has to go through this phase. in these phases, it's very important to find an option to don't create too much doubt and to don't create like too much fear of anything. And he will go through it like this. You build the mental resilience, the mental toughness, and for sure, he has a long career ahead of us, and he will remind these phases, and it makes him even stronger, I'm sure.